On this week's episode of DHNN, we take an exclusive look at the Umass Dartmouth Computer Science program.
Also, Grease was a huge hit. Our very own Mason Langlois sat down with the cast.
Weather, announcements, sports, and much more.
DHNN starts right now.
Time to kick off another great episode of DHNN.
We're your hosts. I'm Tabitha Cabral-Elliott.
And I'm Molly Cunningham. But first, let's take a moment for our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This just in.
It's time for some breaking news announcements.
Seniors, please return any loaner Chromebooks, charging cables, and library books to the LMC before Friday, May 17th.
We've had a chilly week last week.
I hope we have some better weather coming our way.
Let's go to the 7-day forecast with our DHNN weather team.
Hi, I'm Ella Gates, and this is your weekly weather. On Monday, it'll shower in the morning with a high of 57 and a low of 48. Going on to Tuesday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 63 and a low of 51. On Wednesday, it'll be partly cloudy again with a high of 64 and a low of 51. On Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy once more with a high of 64 and a low of 52. Moving on to Friday, it'll be showering with a high of 64 and a low of 51. On Saturday, it's also going to be showers with a high of 63 and a low of 51. On Sunday, it'll shower in the afternoon, but it'll eventually get sunny with a high of 64 and a low of 51. I'm Ella Gates with your weekly weather. Now back to you.
On April 26th, our computer science students went on an amazing tour at Umass Dartmouth.
We also had a chance to speak with some computer science college students who were showcasing their final projects.
Here's DHNN reporter Diesel Williams with the story.
Hi, I'm Diesel Williams, and I'm here at UMass Dartmouth learning about their computer science department. What's your name?
My name is Kenneth.
Why did you want to learn computer science?
I think that the amount of potential that programming and computer science has in the world is numerous, and when I took it in high school, I really loved it, and I never stopped. The rest is history, I guess. So we faced a lot of challenges, especially because we were dealing with a technology that we had never used before. It was a low-code software, so getting accustomed to that, the trainings for that was definitely one of them. On top of the fact that because our project was more research-oriented rather than just creating a finite final project, I think not only highlighting errors that we found, but like relaying them to our client so that we can all figure out what to do with them, because they didn't know anything about this as well either. It was definitely some of the bigger challenges we faced. Have a passion and a will to learn, and never stop wanting to learn, because in the world of STEM, in the world of computer science, that's definitely what's going to keep you far. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then you're not going to go very far.
I studied computer science when I was still living in Brazil in high school. So I did like a professionalization school, that we call it, and so I got like the hang of it. I was like, oh, okay, I can see myself doing this kind of. Again, I think as like other people have said before, it's like we mostly use like low code when using like here on campus and like other projects. So going to like a high code project is kind of like interesting and different normally. Like it's mostly like, oh, it's weird, but after you get used to it, it's kind of like Jesus. This is my opinion at least. I feel like you should like maybe look into like a specific language, maybe like a beginner like Python or Java, because the school will teach you that. Like they'll teach you like a beginner like a language. But I think if you look at it before you come here, you might know like, oh, am I interested in it? Am I not interested in it? And even like it makes it for like the first 2 years of college way easier if you already know like a little bit of logic.
So similarly to some of my other group mates that I already talked about, I went to vocational school, same school as them. First, my shop that I did was IT, which was definitely a lot more the hardware side in terms of computer science, but I decided I wanted to be a little bit more well-rounded in terms of tech field. So I was like, that's got to be the next place to go. Just got to learn how to do software and some of the other soft skills. So this definitely wasn't easy because a lot of us haven't touched low-code APIs before, but there were also some bugs that were encountered using the software that we did, and that made major roadblocks when we were using it, especially since the project was somewhat linear. So you can't really move on forward to the next part if the part that we're working on right now isn't working. So that was definitely a major roadblock. Favorite part was just learning, something new, something that you can take from. This is a tech field, you're always going to be learning something new. So just having to go through that process is always enjoyable, because at the end of the day, this is what we're all going to do. So we just want to learn as much as possible.
I also saw some of UMass Dartmouth's amazing amenities, such as their food court, dorms, and their classrooms.
It's a good first step because we want to really expand our partnership with higher education institutions. UMass Dartmouth, obviously being right in our backyard, is very close to our community, and specifically we want to expand our computer science program offerings, which is why we're here today, to build that partnership between our computer science teachers at the high school level and here at UMass Dartmouth. But we'd also like to ideally get our younger students from the middle school onto college campus as well. So we really do see strengthening our partnership with UMass Dartmouth as a key step in the future of our strategic planning work with the Dartmouth Public Schools.
Who am I here with?
Fabio Pereira.
How did you feel about the field trip?
I enjoyed the field trip. It was it was a pleasant experience going to visit the college and all.
What did you think about the presentations?
I personally, I was lost in them because I got there like halfway through the presentation, but it was very informative. I really enjoyed it.
I had a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of new people. I got to meet one of the directors, all really nice people.
What was the best thing about the field trip?
Probably seeing the different presentations and how many different types of computer sciences there are.
All in all, it was a great trip. Thank you to UMass Dartmouth for letting us come out.
Grease was a huge success for the Dartmouth High Theater Company last week.
The ensemble cast performed 4 sold-out shows to thunderous applause.
Mason Langlois, who was also in the show, had a chance to speak with some of the cast about the experience.
So first question, what were your thoughts when you found out you were doing Grease? Like, what was that experience like?
Yeah, I think we were all pretty excited, at banquet when we learned, we were all having a good time, and they told us, hey, we're doing Grease, and, everyone was cheering. It was great, yeah.
So yeah, like Mason said, it was everyone was very energetic and excited. For me, I'm often the odd one out, so I didn't know a lot about Grease. I knew it was good. My parents always talked about it. It's always played during our karaoke session, so I knew about it, but I had to do a little research before I could fully get into it.
Mm-hmm. So before we really get into all of the questions, who are you two and what are the roles that you played in Grease?
Hi, I'm Mason Langlois and I played Roger.
And my name is Tyler Bro and I played Duty.
And both of you were pretty solid characters in the cast. So who were your favorite characters in the
Yeah. I think one of my favorite characters is probably Rizzo, because she really adds a lot of complexity to the show that tends to focus more on the pop culture elements from the 50s, and it really makes her character really makes you think about some of the stuff that's in the show.
For me, it was definitely Kaneki. Just he has the iconic Grease Lightning song and dance and all of that, and his character in general is just really fun and played by Ray. He did an outstanding job.
Those are both some really good characters. And then obviously, since it's a musical, you must have had a favorite number or something to perform.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite numbers that we performed was Hand Jive because it has a lot of complicated like dance in it and like a lot of dance because it's like generally like the song's like 10% lyrics, 90% song in dance break. So we moved around a lot and it was hard, but once we got it, we really got it, and I think we put on a good show.
For me, it was Grease Lightning, just like because when we started rehearsing, it was with chairs and benches, so it was very weird to go from literally like just jumping on a chair, doing part of the dance and jumping off, to finally having the car in the final week to like get a feel for what it was actually like, and it kind of like gave some more energy and like life into the dance itself. So I think just seeing that whole process of going from chairs to car was really cool.
Yeah, and with that, like those chairs, were there any other challenges in like rehearsal and like practicing that you guys came across?
Yeah, I'd say that one of the biggest challenges, at least for me personally, was really having to lock in and learn my stuff. Another thing is that at the end of Act 1, we have these scenes where we're on like bleachers, and a lot of the dancing and a lot of the blocking during that is all on bleachers, and I am not a very coordinated person. It's a fact about me that basically everyone knows, it took me a little bit to figure out how to not try and fall over or be scared of falling over constantly while on bleachers.
Craving some salad or maybe a cowboy burger?
We got you covered.
Time for the lunch show.
That time of the show where we have to say goodbye.
Next time, we'll be back with more stories.
We'll take you to Portugal and Spain on the amazing world language trip from April vacation.
And the esports team went all the way to the semifinals at Patriot Place for the Super Smash Bros. Competition.
And there's always so much more in store. I'm Tabitha Cabral Elliott.
And I'm Molly Cunningham. See you next time on
DHNN.